I click on fucking Pokeball and then correct it and go back down to netball.
It wasn't on netball because I reset. I'm retarded, but I think I saved it.
I sound drunk.
Pikachu.
Welcome to the Pokemon Sapphire World Record commentary version. If you're looking to learn about the Pokemon Sapphire run or just want a different way to enjoy the Sapphire run, this will be a good way to do it. We'll go over my decision-making and thought processes and stuff in this video. Here we go. And it's working this time. Good. Everything seems to be in order. Okay, so, like most Pokemon intros, it's pretty repetitive. There's a one-frame trick right at the beginning of this run, so I see this part a lot. You can see my attempt counter there. I actually got this record on attempt 2,599. So, I've seen this intro quite a few times. You see, I picked the girl there and chose a one-character name. The girl is important for reasons I'll explain later. And the one-character name is important because every time text is printed, it takes time. So having a shorter name, even though you have to like waste time to name yourself, you save it back and more to name yourself a one-character name. That matters much more for your like main Pokemon than you, but it still is faster to name yourself one character. See, Mom just already said my name there. But yeah, I mean, I'm generally just kind of zoned out for this part. It's hard to believe you're gonna get anywhere in a Sapphire run. There's only like a 3% chance that you actually finish the run without dying. So you just gotta kind of push through it. I picked the potion out of the PC there and set the clock, which you have to do. The potion is very important because you almost always have to heal before you can actually buy potions, and all of the other ways that you can regain your HP, like the center or talking to Mom, are slower than the potion, and it messes up your step count. And step count is important for some RNG manipulations we'll be doing. Mostly the Wingull manip, which you cannot take any extra steps for. If you take one extra step, it's over. You can correct it if you take it early enough, but... Oh, wow. Of course, alerts are still on from this video, but I won't have new alerts playing. So even something as simple as talking to this guy from below, like if you walk to the right of him there, then he like sees you and it doesn't count as a step. I've had to find that out the hard way. And that ruins Mudkip Manip and Wingull Manip. So we save on a specific tile, do a soft reset and start a timer at the same time. Load up the game, go to Mudkip and wait and hit the frame. It's a one-frame trick. It manipulates a specific Mudkip that has amazing stats and a good nature, naughty nature, plus attack. And I got it here, first try, which is pretty much required for record. I was resetting for first try at the end of my grind, so... there's also a secondary manip that kind of chains off of the Mudkip manip. That is no encounter manip, which has two parts: the timing at the end of the battle and the timing at the end of this cutscene right here. You might not have seen it, but I actually waited like less than half a second. Now I'm paying attention to the way this NPC moves, the fat guy mostly, and he tells me which frame I hit. And then I take a path that corresponds to that frame to get no encounters. Which is super good because you generally get like 2 or 3 encounters here, which is like 20 or 30 seconds. It's pretty sick manip, actually, because it doesn't actually take any time, right? Because you have to manip the Mudkip anyway. And the no encounter manip takes like, what? You know, just a slight delay and you get no encounters. Pretty sick. It's actually possible that we could manip more than that. Like, maybe manip a crit on this fight or continue the no encounter manip to, like, the next fight. But, due to lack of accurate emulation, it's been hard to actually put that into practice, even if it might be possible. This fight is actually pretty troll. Sometimes it can kill you. But, you know, it's so early in the run. It's kind of whatever. Crit would have killed me there, obviously. I missed tackle and got double ear, so that was pretty dangerous, I guess, but I don't know. It's kind of a silly thing. I'm actually pretty scared about that fight for GDQ because it's really, really bad if you lose, even though it's very unlikely to lose. So you see I step right there instead of going down. There are two reasons that that works, or that I do that. The first is that you get a turn frame when you try to move in a direction that you aren't facing while you're not moving already. So like if you're stationary and then try to turn in a direction you're not facing to start up your movement, you get like, I think it's 8 frames you lose. So you want to move in the same direction as you're facing while stationary if possible. You can't always do that without losing time, but and then you might think, oh, well, you have to walk on a grass tile to do that, so it's not worth it. Well, after trainer battles, you get 4 tiles of immunity from encounters. So you actually can't get an encounter on that tile. That fat guy can actually block you. You have to, like, be careful about the way that he moves and try to avoid him. It's super annoying. And you remember that step count is important. So if he blocks you in the wrong way, you actually just have to, like, wait for him to move out of the way. It doesn't happen very often, but it has trolled me a few times. So this is where you can actually get encounters. It would be cool if we could have this manip to, like, extend to get no encounters here, because it's really annoying. If you get 2, it's pretty bad, and it's not that uncommon. I got 1 there, which is about average. Now, this guy, fucking Calvin, has killed quite a few of my runs. Sometimes because I maybe didn't heal when I should have, because it's so early in the run. But he has Tail Whip, Growl, and Tackle, which is super, super troll because... Oh, and it's a speed tie. So if you, like, lose speed tie, Growl, and then he starts helping. Wow, I actually 2-turned this fight. That's crazy. I double crit Calvin in this run. I had no memory of that. That's usually a 4-shot if it's a good fight. Wow. World record has a Ralts too? Not trace Ralts. If he has trace, it, like, gives the ability text. Wait. What? Okay, so that's actually crazy. I had no idea I did that either. I took an extra step there, which like I said, ruins Wingull Manip. So I actually took more steps through the grass to save those 2 steps back to make sure that my step counter was the same as it was supposed to be before I made the mistake. So we're all good now, but I almost killed a very good run with that mistake. Nice chat on point today in in the world record VOD, I see. Oh yeah. If I forget to say something, you guys can definitely like, I'm actually looking at chat, so you can ask questions. It's probably a good way to make sure I say everything. So stepping into that Pokemon Center sets my teleport/death spawn point to that Pokemon Center, which is going to be very important later in the run. And you'll see why. It's actually one of the sickest strats in Pokemon speedrunning. But yeah, walking into that center to make sure that you spawn there is important. Yeah, we don't need to include that though. That was just trying to fill the air. I filled it with something else this time. Okay, this is just a cutscene. You can actually like go take a piss or something, get a water in the middle of this cutscene. It's really long, but it's the only downtime in the entire run. So favorite mon in this gen is Latias. Alright, so now it's time for Wingull Manip. Same thing as Mudkip Manip, basically, except it's not a one-framer. This is... I don't even know. It's like 4 or 5 frames or something to load up the game here. And depending on which frame I hit, I'm going to pay attention to the way the NPCs move around in the overworld. And they tell me which path to take to get this Wingull. This is a very special Wingull. It's not just any Wingull. I'm using an audio cue to throw this Pokeball, which is an 11 frame window, I think, for the catch. So it's pretty easy if you know what you're doing. This Wingull is a 1% encounter because it's the max level Wingull. It has a high special attack IV, a plus special attack nature, and low enough defense and HP combination to die to Geodude in 2 turns, which will make more sense soon. Right after this fight. The chance of getting to this point without resetting is, to answer your question, is difficult to... Like, it just depends on how good you are at hitting the Manips. It's not that unlikely to get here on, like, some kind of pace if you hit the Manips every time, but hitting a 1-frame Manip every time is impossible. If you miss the 11-frame window, like, by definition, it doesn't work. Assuming that you were aiming for that 11-frame window, then if you miss it, you're not going to miss it by that much, which means that it's going to fail for sure. I mean, if you waited, like, a really long time, then it can work anyway, yeah. Because you're hitting, like, a separate window where it works. And also, we haven't talked about this at all, but this fight is absolutely maddening. This Poochyena has Sand Attack, and if he gets enough Sand Attacks on you, you can actually die here, regardless of, like, the massive trolling. But I actually killed it in 5 turns, which is really good. Not only did I kill it in 5 turns, but my HP is, like, perfect for Roxanne as well. You can't take any damage from between here and Roxanne. Unless something that, like, forces you to reset happens, basically. So here you're going to see me run below this spinner, and then walk, and then run. And what I'm doing there is I'm forcing him to look down, because you can actually change the direction that a spinner faces by running. You'll see it better with this rotator here. You see she looks left. And then I walk on the tile that I need to pass her, so she doesn't, because if you run through them, then they'll look and see you. So you walk 1 tile, and then you run away from them. And that was just a rotator. But the spinner that I did it on previously, you force him to look down by running to the exact tile below him, walk the next tile, and then start up your run again. And they actually can't see you if you do that. Like, you force them to look in a direction, and then they can't see, like, turn again before you pass the tile. So this is why the Wingull is important. You switch to the Wingull, he gets hit, you water gun, his high special attack and plus special attack nature combination allows him to do just enough damage to Geodude where he doesn't die, but he also dies to 1 Mud Slap, which is your best move against Geodude. It takes like 6 or 7 or something Mud Shots to kill Geodude from full health. And you need to catch a Wingull as a flyer anyway, so it saves like 40 seconds to do this or something. The only downside is that if Wingull crits the Geodude, then your run is instantly over because Wingull gets half the XP, and you can't make that up in any reasonable kind of way. And if the Geodude crits you, then you're just basically where you started, and you lose like 50 seconds because you switched and have to use a million mud slaps. I have continued super good runs that had that happen, but it sucks. I once crit that wing. I think I crit the Geodude 4 times in a row on 4 separate runs one time. It can be very frustrating if you haven't been here in a while and you crit that Geodude. It's just like, ugh. What am I even doing here? These fights aren't actually mandatory, by the way. But in a way they are, because you need to get extra XP so that you can get Marsh Stomp before Brawly. And because all these Geodudes die in one hit and you get access to the experience as soon as possible, it helps a lot with Roxanne. Why not Water Gun? You don't have enough PP because you literally don't know Water Gun when you go into that fight. The Geodude that you kill with Mud Slap gives you enough experience for Water Gun. So this fight is absolutely nonsense, but I get to do a cool strat here, which is lead with Growl. The reason that I can lead with Growl here is because my HP works out to where 2 Rock Tombs or Rock Throws puts me into Torrent, which is Mudkip's ability, but 3 doesn't kill me, which might be hard to make sense of, but it basically lets me get Water Guns in Torrent without being at risk of dying. Torrent is when Mudkip is at or below 1/3 HP, his water moves do 50% more damage. So this is a damage range to kill, actually. I missed it by 1. That would have been really good. I could have actually killed Nosepass there and bypassed the potion. I switched to Mud Slap here to preserve Water Gun PP, because you can run out of Water Guns. It's not like run ending if it happens, but you want to save Water Guns where it doesn't waste time to do so. That was a pretty good Roxanne. That fight can kill you easily, like crit on any turn basically kills you. You can lose a lot of time over like the ideal fight there just like crits the Nosepass on turn 2 and it's just over. You bypass all the potions and stuff. So you can argue that it's worth trying to get as many runs to Roxanne as possible, because even if the run sucks, if you crit the Nosepass on the right turn, your run is suddenly like good or average at least. But I generally took the approach of like resetting sooner rather than later. I mean, World Record just has like not an amazing Roxanne split. You see there, I tried to do the run into walk spinner thing, but I got an encounter. It'll still work because the spinner is frozen at the beginning of his cycle when you exit this encounter, so I'll walk 1 tile and then start running, and he won't hit me. And that's actually a rotator. Now this spinner is actually a little bit more complicated. If you don't have to repel there, if you do have to repel there, then you just do what I did there, and it's called a bag manip. Bag manipping does the same thing as getting an encounter, basically. It resets the spinner's timer to like the beginning of the cycle. So it takes a certain number of frames for them to actually be able to spin from the beginning of that cycle. So if you open your bag right in front of a spinner and then just walk and run past them, then they can't ever hit you. Assuming they're not already facing the direction that you need to pass in. So, yeah, there's a lot of that, like, getting past spinner execution in this run, which makes it a lot better than, like, other runs that have spinners, because you can always avoid spinners if you're good, so it's consistent. Another good thing about that Roxanne fight was that I ended the fight in Torrent. So this Poochyena, for example, never dies if you don't have Torrent, but always dies if you do have Torrent. And I also killed an encounter. I don't actually know if I talked about that, but you need just a little bit more XP, and so you because your one repel doesn't make it all the way through the grass anyway. It's just better to wait until you get an encounter, and then kill it, and then repel like I did. That's generally how it goes here. Because I had to repel somewhat early, my repel's going to wear out here. So I'm going to take... Oh, I actually get an encounter there. That's annoying. I was going to take just one more tile left and then go up, and the trainer was going to like walk and see me, which is slow, but I can't get an encounter there if I do it that way. After that, but I got an encounter on the way. And then I changed my plan again because I got the encounter. I wanted to utilize the 4 tiles of encounter immunity that I got to go talk to the trainer rather than letting him walk and see me. But yeah, I can actually get another encounter after this fight when I do it this way. But there's only one tile that I can get an encounter on, so whether that's actually worth it, I haven't done the math, but you know, I was probably just annoyed that I got an encounter and wanted to save some time back. And that encounter that I killed and the trainers that I fought in Roxanne's Gem all add up to be like, as you saw, almost exactly enough to get Marsh Stomp here, and it's super important to get Marsh Stomp because it gets a super strong move, Mudshot, right when it evolves, and you get like better stats and ground off typing. Super, super, super strong mid-game Pokemon and move. It's about 10% to get an encounter on any given tile. More cutscene, but this is a cutscene you have to mash in, so you can't actually, leave the computer. Or TV, I guess. So, I guess I'll talk about the shop that we're about to do beforehand. I changed the shopping around from the previous world record a decent bit. And what I wound up with was buying less potions so you can buy more repels in the early game so that you don't have to buy repels twice, basically. But potions are really valuable, so I found myself running out of potions pretty often. So what I was doing was selling my Great Balls if I needed more potions, and not selling the Great Balls if I held on to lots of potions from the Roxanne split. Because you could basically have to get through all your potions in the Roxanne split. But you see I have 3 left there, so I skipped selling Great Balls, and I'm also going to skip buying potions a second time. A lot of times you have to buy potions there, but this way you get to skip buying the potions and selling the Great Balls, which saves like a pretty solid amount of time. And I'm skipping buying repels as well, because you would normally buy repels there too, in addition to the repels you bought early game. So it saves, I don't know, like 8 seconds or something. The shopping route itself saves like 10 total, I think. See, I run for 1 tile there because I actually don't want to force him to look up. So I run 1 tile where I'm too far away from him to force him to look up, because they only like look in the direction that you're running if you're close enough to them. Because I actually am going to pass him through where he's facing up. So I don't want him to force up, because then that resets his cycle to up, and then I have to wait for him to spin. It's faster to do that on average than it is to just run through the grass and pray you don't get an encounter. But he can troll you by like not looking right for a really long time. but that was a pretty good one. And you don't have enough money to buy a repel for that section. Let's see if we get the perfect cave here. Repel there. Repel again, and then I actually used the super here. Interesting. So yeah, I got the perfect cave. Okay, so what I did there was I had to heal and repel again, and I pre-set up my cursor to be on escape ropes. So when I open my bag up, my cursor will already be on escape ropes. And what I'm going to do is I have my control set to L equals A. And I'm going to press like L and A at basically the same time, and it's going to select the escape rope and then also use it like instantly, basically, because you're getting 2 A inputs consecutively. Yeah. So that's why I pre-set up my cursor there. Yeah, you talk to Steven from the side because you can run, but he walks. And so you have to take more steps, but he takes less steps because he doesn't have to walk around you to get out of the cutscene. So it's worth it. This is actually an interesting fight. So you might wonder why I don't lead with Mudshot here, and I actually lead with Water Gun instead. And that is because Mudshot has a speed fall animation, and that is slower on average than the time that you save from Mudshot critting and one-shotting the Metatite. Because Mudshot doesn't kill. So, yeah. And also Mudshot count is important, but it generally wouldn't matter there. This fight is super troll. It's actually the worst thing ever. I hate it. It's like 25% to die or something. Bulk up turn 1 is not what you want to see. Now I have to pay super close attention to how much damage I do to guarantee a kill, and also oh wow, double bulk up. Guarantee a kill, but also not hit him into heal range. So this will be another mud shot because he bulked up a second time. If he had not used bulk up on that turn, I would have used water gun. I switched to water gun there because I am in Torrent, which guaranteed the kill, and it doesn't have a chance to miss like Mudshot does. You still have to lead with Mudshot on the Makihita, though, because double Torrent water gun isn't guaranteed to kill. I actually could have died here. Wow, that's crazy. You see, like, that's how easy it was. If that was a 4-turn arm thrust instead of a 3-turn arm thrust or a 5, I would have died. And that's how easy it is. It's only 1 in 4 to go past 3 turns, but could have easily died there. And so now I'm at 2 health. So I have to heal for the fights that are coming up next. You generally don't have to heal there because normally if you're this low HP, you're just dead instead. But weird situation where I have to heal. And just another example of where you would need a potion. Like, you normally don't have to potion here, but I had so many potions left over from the Roxanne split because I got a good Roxanne fight mostly that I was able to just do it without too much pain. Still slow though, to be forced to heal. Pick up the lovely soft sand from our beach dwellers. That is a held item that increases the power of ground moves by 10%, which powers up Mudshot, which is really, really important, in particular for Rival 2. But all over the run, it helps damage ranges or guarantees them. Or makes them more likely. In the case of Rival 2, turns Grovyle from a range to 2-shot into guaranteed. So I actually had to heal up my HP here rather than what you normally have to be worried about here is not taking enough damage on Brawly. Because if you don't take enough damage, then Rival 2's lead can use Growl on you. So you need to be below 41 HP. It's a percentage, but the number is, because since you always have the same Mudkip, you have to be below 41 HP to guarantee that he won't use Growl on you, because if he uses Growl on you, the run is instantly over. So you would actually like stall or tackle the Carvanha to activate its rough skin damage in some cases to take more damage, but we didn't have to worry about that here. The Zubat has Supersonic. I've lost plenty of runs to it. Since you have to be at this kind of like mid or low HP, the Supersonic can just ruin you. And you can't heal once you get Supersonic, because if you heal and then don't take more damage, then you're just dead to Rival 2 because of the Growl. It's a really annoying like deadlock situation. There's a couple of spots in this run where you have to like balance how high HP you are versus safety because of the power of Torrent and AI manipulation versus like the chance to die because you're low health. But in general, those fights are trivial because Mudshot is so good. So coming up next is one of the more notorious fights in Pokemon and Pokemon speedrunning and Pokemon in general. Rival 2 in Gen 3. And this is the primary reason that we picked the girl. If you pick the boy, then May leads Wailmer instead of Numel. And that is really bad because while the Wailmer does no splash, and it can use that every turn, which is really good if that happens, it can use Water Gun every turn, which does way more damage than Numel does per turn, and you don't have enough healing items to deal with it doing that, so it's better to do this. It's way more consistent. Also, I passed the spinner there in a slightly different way that I passed the other ones. Spinners have different mechanics, and the situations in which you can pass them are different too. Like, which way you can make them face versus which way you have to pass them. That was just a different example of it, where I did a start flash without opening the bag. If you get burned here, it's really bad, obviously. You have to heal it off, and you only have one full heal, and you really need that full heal. That double tackle miss? Doesn't really matter. But the opening to this fight is pretty much always the same. X attack, X speed, and then super to full health. And if you don't get burned or crit on a bad turn when you're low health, it's generally fine. So I'm actually going to pause the video here because this strat is pretty sick, and you really want to understand like why what's happening is happening. So I use 2x attacks and exactly 1x speed, right? So Marshtomp is pretty slow and Grovyle's pretty fast. So this Grovyle is actually still faster than me, even though I used an X speed. But we actually want that to be the case because this Grovyle is always going to use 4 times super effective Absorb on us, and Absorb steals health back. So if I were to, for example, use 2x speeds to be faster than this thing, then I would hit it, and then it would absorb and do 40-ish damage to me, heal back HP, and then I would Mudshot again, and it wouldn't kill. Like, not even close, because of the HP it absorbed back. But the way we set it up, we set up 1x speed. He's going to go first, hit us with Absorb. Then we're going to Mudshot, which guarantees lower speed by 1. And then we'll be faster on the second turn, and it will kill. So that's why this fight is so cool. Absorb first, does shitloads of health because it's 4 times super effective. Hits Mudshot. That was actually a really good roll. I think I can tackle here. Yeah. and you win. So, really cool strat. The way you get around Grovyle being like so dangerous to the run at this point, while you don't really have that many options to deal with it. They're like, it's 2 levels higher than you, for example, even though he's got 3 Pokemon. Good fight, though. So this is actually a different type of spinner that can look in any direction. I think it's called a Type C spinner, if I remember correctly. And I can't actually force this guy to look in a direction that I don't need to pass and also pass him in time. So if I move on this tile right here, by running, he'll be forced to look down, which is the direction I need to pass him in. And if I run to this tile, he'll be forced to look right, but he'll be able to spin by the time I walk to this tile. So I actually have to open the bag to freeze him to pass him. This is actually one of the weird spinners in this run. I think this is the only one you actually have to bag manip. And this is just a rotator, which looks really silly. Because of the way he's positioned, you have to walk for 6 tiles to get around him. I have hit that guy on accident before and killed the run. He's only got 1 Abra, but it's still too much time lost in general. So, got Rock Smash. And now it's time for everybody's favorite, the Mach Bike. The Mach Bike is possibly, if not probably, the hardest like movement to control in Pokemon because it's so fast. It took me like an insane amount of practice to get good at using this bike, but it was worth it in the end. Just a little menu here. Ether to restore Mudshot PP, Potion, Teach Rock Smash, and register the bike to select and use it. Don't forget to register. This is actually one of the strats I changed from World Record to now, which is using a potion there instead of using a super potion there. And the reason that I do that is because I switched to using an X speed on one of the fights in this gym, which will make more sense in a second. Can you consistently first try to get to the top of Sky Pillar? Definitely, yeah. I've done it bonkless before, too. But yeah, the problem with super potioning is that it's safer, kind of, but if you don't take damage in this gym, then your HP is too high for Watson and Cool Trainer Brooke, which are 2 really dumb fights, and they can use moves that kill the run on you because you healed to too high health. But the problem with using a potion is that not this fight, but the next one has 3 Voltorbs that are all faster than you, and they all know Sonic Boom. They're only 1 in 4 to use it, but there's the potential to die there because you didn't heal to high enough health. So I mitigated that problem by changing... Wow, I got double detect here. That's annoying. I changed the shopping route to allow for enough money to buy and use an extra X speed on this fight so that you're faster than all 3 Voltorbs. So that unless you miss Mudshot, the most damage you can take here is 20. So that you're generally fine. And then you've set up this like mid HP where you're not dead to Watson because you have to have enough HP to tank a Sonic Boom, but you're also not getting the shitty moves that you get for being too high health. I got Screech here, which is perfect. If I got Sonic Boom here, I actually would have had to heal for Watson, which is like the one downside to this strat. Like the actual downside is that if you take too much damage on Rival 2, then Potion plus getting hit by Sonic Boom, which is what could have happened here, wouldn't be enough health to tank a Sonic Boom on Watson. In this case, I actually would have needed literally one more health to tank a Sonic Boom. So a little scary because wasting potions and wasting a time opening the menu to potion is really slow and shitty. Your potion count matters. It's all bad. But I had much less problems doing this potion plus X speed strat than I did have problems with like being too high health and getting fucked for it. It's the same in every game. It only works, an X item only works for the battle you use it in. So now I just have to not miss this mudshot, because if I missed that mudshot, I would have died to the Sonic Boom. But now I level up, and even if I miss mudshot, I'll be okay. Mudshot has a 5% chance to miss, by the way. I don't know if I'd mentioned that, but yeah, same as tackle. And you, which doesn't sound bad, but like you use so many mudshots that like you're gonna miss one somewhere. And my HP is like pretty much perfect here for Cool Trainer Book, because now the Wingull that knows Supersonic and Growl can only use Water Gun and Wing Attack. There's thresholds where it'll start using Supersonic, and there's thresholds where it'll start using Growl. If it uses Growl, the run's over. So you can't let it do that. And if it's Supersonics, then you have to heal it off. And you're full health. Okay, so that... Okay, this is actually sick, because... And it's also sad, but... This bonk right here is the only bonk in the entire split. The biking this split was insane. I bonk right at the beginning of this split, and I do it literally perfectly for the rest of the split. That bonk is intentional to decelerate the bike instantly. That was another type of spinner manipulation there, where you do the same thing to run to force him to look in a certain direction, and then you quickly get on the bike, because biking past a spinner doesn't force them to look in a certain direction, and then you just bike past and they can't see you. That's called a run into bike, and it's like a, I don't know, 6-frame trick or something to stop your movement, get on the bike, and then start your movement up again. You have that many frames to guarantee that they don't see you. If you're too slow, then it's still very unlikely that they'll see you. But yeah. This fight is complete bullshit. It's Cool Trainer Brook, one of the most notorious fights in this run. It doesn't look like anything special when you see it go right like this. But that Roselia is only 77% to die to Mudshot, which has a 5% chance to miss. And if you miss the range or you miss Mudshot, then the run is over. And that's it. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's no way to get enough XP. There's no way to improve the range by enough. It's just over. Dodge the old man. Perfect to get into the shop. The split was so sick. Well, the execution in the split was so sick. Saw the Nugget and TMs were basically buying for the rest of the run here. Pretty much. There is one more small shop later. But you buy like all the X items, all the repels that you need right here. So you spend a shitload of money. You'll 1 X defend. I love that strat. You don't really see that in Pokemon runs too often, but the X defend plays a critical role in this run. This is one of the most difficult biking sections in the run, for sure. I hate this part. You see me turn into the wall to decelerate the bike instantly and then repel. And I actually very intentionally repelled on exactly that tile. Run into bike here. Miss it because I suck. That spinner had about a roughly, or maybe exactly, a 1 in 8 chance to see me there. Could have gotten hit. I practiced that 10,000 times and still miss it in runs. Quite annoying. But what can you do? Didn't get punished. So yeah, I stopped on a specific tile on the bridge to repel, because when your repel wears out, it acts as an instant bike deceleration, which I use to get past this spinner. That's actually a spinner, and I need to repel again, so that acts as the bag manip that allows you to pass him. So getting your movement and repel perfectly there is super important. That was another run into bike there, where I get off the bike, run up 3 tiles to force her to look down, get back on the bike, and then pass her. She can't see me if you do it that way. And you saw me take a couple of extra, like a little down, a little up. That's actually part of the new shopping route, because you used to use a repel there, so it would like work perfectly, but now you have a super repel, so it's too many steps. And the reason you do it is so that you get an instant bike deceleration in front of this spinner. Like that. Since you want a menu here anyway. To bag manip him. Reset his cycle, make it to where he can't see you. This is going to be... You're going to see me go down a little bit here. Right after this part where the repel wears out, I'm going to go down 1 tile. This is to deload the spinner to the left here, so he can't see you. And then you get off the bike and do another run into bike to get past that spinner. And you might have actually missed it because it was so fast, but I bonk into the wall on purpose and then get off of the bike and then run to the map transition, which looks weird, but the reason you do that is because when you map transition while an audio track is still loading, it takes like way less time to transition between one map to the other. So by getting off the bike, you're like loading a new audio track, and then you go through the transition while the audio track is still loading, and then it like lowers the amount of time of that little like blackout cutscene by a lot, so it's faster. There's a couple of places you'll see me do something similar to that. And yeah, God, dude, the biking, this split was so good. This split is quite difficult overall, and I bonked exactly once, and it was like the first mistake you could possibly make. I wish I could have just said I did the split perfectly. Okay, so after these trivial fights, assuming you don't miss Mudshot, of course, you are going to see me turn and then open the menu. I use that to switch Wingull to the front, and then since you can like turn and pause on the same frame, I'm like effectively making the timing there easier for me. And then I'm moving in the direction that I'm facing so I don't get a turn frame there. It's actually like... It's not even faster to do it that way, but it's easier to not lose time to do it that way, basically. So the reason you lead Wingull here is to tank the Intimidate for you, and then you use this turn to set up a guard spec. And then he'll always kill the Wingull since he's in kill range. Switch out to Marsh Stomp, and then start setting up. This fight is bullshit, by the way. Sand attack's really good. That's what you want to see. X attack, X speed. And now we're going to attack in. And this is actually one of the most bullshit things that happen in this run. This right here, I don't know exactly how likely this is to kill, but I think it's like 80% plus to kill this mighty Inna. And this fucked me so hard. I lost, I don't know, like nearly 30 seconds to this, I think, over it just killing and critting. Generally, it doesn't crit, and then you set up another X attack, and then you just pray you don't get Supersonic from the next Pokemon, and it's fine. But this actually fucks me so hard, and it's so stupid that it happened this way. And if I got Sand Attack on that turn, it would have been fine too. Set up the other X attack anyway. He Super Potions. I get scared that this Strength isn't going to kill, so I go for a Mud Shot instead, which is fine. I'm actually not sure. I think that Strength might not have killed. It would have been better to... It would have been better to not crit and not kill. Critting and not killing was the problem. It could either not critting or critting and killing was fine. Critting and not killing was slow and fucked me. So now I have to tackle here because I had already set up the second X attack. And if you strengthen, it puts him into heal range. Which is bad because you can miss the tackle. But then I get Supersonic also from this. So now I have to heal it off. And this fight was just way slower than it needed to be. Of course, the Supersonic was part of it. But if that Strength had just killed instead, it would have been so much better. But I hardly lose any time to Record. Record actually gets that crit, by the way. But his biking wasn't as good as mine. Not that it was bad, but mine was, like, actually perfect. Except for one bonk. Unlucky. But anyway, yeah, that fight was really dumb. You actually can't heal in any centers up until, like, basically now. You cannot take a center, and that will make sense after this fight, after the Flannery fight. Take a little detour here. Oh, wow, I was only buying one energy powder. Oh, I know what I did. It was because I had so many super potions left over that I opted to only buy one energy powder so I could buy an extra heal powder. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Because I already used my full heal and I still had a super potion left over. It was more beneficial to buy an extra status healing item than it was to buy an extra energy powder, which is a super potion. That was another, like, money optimization that I was implementing towards the end of my grind. Switch Wingull out of the front here because he's going to get healed after this. I actually would have used a potion there if I had one, I think. Yeah, I definitely would have. Did I even use all my potions? Where did they all go? I don't know. I feel like I should have potion there. Did I? I must not have had one. Or maybe it was my last potion, and I didn't want to use my last potion there. I could believe that. But generally, you want to be at, like, a mid-health for this fight. Because you're actually setting up a Death Warp. And you don't want to be full, and you don't want to be too low either, because then you just die if you're too low. So the goal here is to get poisoned by Smog. That is what you need to happen. It's not like a, I hope we get poisoned by Smog. It's, you literally have to get poisoned by Smog because this is a Death Warp and it saves minutes to, like, not have to go through all the bullshit to get back to Norman's gym. So I actually Rock Smash to stall there. And now I have to worry about critting the Slugma, so I have to switch to throwing balls. which is funny that you use this in a Pokemon run, but it's the only thing I have to stall. So that was a kind of a bad poison, but, you know, it could have been worse, I guess. I've lost runs to just not getting poisoned. And because I had to super potion to full... This actually would have worked out sick, I think, if I had been able to potion. But because I had to super potion, I'm like 2 high health right now. So I'm actually going to stall for a turn on the Torkoal by strengthing instead of mudshotting. He body slams me, and that is faster than just like letting the poison tick that HP instead. I'm pretty sure that was actually the lowest damage roll that you could get from body slam, maybe the second lowest, which is annoying because you want it to do more damage so that you have to take less poison ticks to die. But it's fine. I got a reasonable poison. And now we set up our Death Warp. So the strat here is walk around until you die. And this is why we couldn't take another Pokemon Center anywhere else during the run, because I need my Death Warp point to be Petalburg so that I can go like right to Norman's gym, because that's where we need to go after this. And if I were to take another center, then it would set my Death Warp to somewhere else, and it would defeat the purpose of doing all of this. So yeah, it's actually a super cool strat that Exarian came up with. I think, pretty sure Exarian came up with that, and it saves a ton. Yeah, so the problem with taking the rare candy in the Sandstorm, which is the other strat that you do when you're like stall and then you can't take enough damage to like make it a reasonable amount of time, is that when you exit the gym, the rival comes and talks to you and gives you the go-go goggles and shit, and it's like a really slow cutscene that you get to avoid by just dying in the gym. But if you have enough health to get to the rare candy without healing, which is 31 health it takes to get there, then it's faster to exit the gym, take the cutscene, mock bike over to the rare candy, and then pick it up, because you get to tick your poison faster on the bike than you would walking, obviously. And then you get to skip a rare candy that you would have picked up that takes like 25 seconds or something later in the run to make up for the time difference. It's slower than just getting a good poison like I did, but yeah. We got fucked up by that Lanoon. Normally does not do that much damage. I think he crit me. I wasn't really paying attention. I mean, he must have crit me. Just energy root to full here. I really didn't want to do that. Yeah, you never get the go-go goggles. I didn't actually want to energy root there, but I couldn't waste 2 super potions making up for the HP, so I had to. Now we're just praying that this Zangoose dies. The Zangoose is a range to 2-shot, and if you miss the range and he crits you, which he uses a dire hit and he's using slash, so it happens that it's a range to kill you and your run's over. That was not a great roll. And it lives. Wow, I didn't realize Zangoose lived in this run. That's sick. If he crit me there, I was actually kind of fucked. Even if it didn't kill, because I would have had to use 2 super potions to make up for the HP. And because I already used an energy root. And you have to have an energy root for Norman. You really want 2, actually. But you have to have 1. Those are the most annoying gym trainers. Yeah, Norman's are, for sure. This fight is absolute bullshit. It is like 30% to kill you, because if this slacking crits you on any turn, then you're fucked. Okay, so you lead with an X defend here, right? Which seems weird. Like, X defend is defense. Why, you know, that's ridiculous. Why would you want to defend to go faster? But it does so much damage that it actually can natively, like, naturally two-shot you through this X defend without critting. So you can't actually get enough turns to set up without spamming healing items, which you don't have enough money for. Unless you X defend, and it actually is buying you more turns. Since you tank 2, you get like twice as many turns per healing item. So start with X defend. Pray he doesn't two-shot you. It's really unlikely to two-shot you. Like, really unlikely. But it's happened to me, of course. 2 X attacks and an X speed. Or no, just 2 X attacks. Because you're mud-shotting to make up for the speed. That was a really high roll. Heal off the sleep powder. Pray you don't get yawn again. It's good. Mud shot. Is that a strength? I think it's like 1 HP off strength thing. Apparently old Gunner thinks so too. It's possible to strength there if you get 2 really high rolls, but it's like almost not even worth thinking about because it's so unlikely. Mudshot made me faster than the slacking, and I want the Vigoroth to hit me, not the slacking. Hopefully he uses Feint Attack here. That's Pog as fuck. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so this was really important, actually, because that Vigoroth could have used any of its 3 moves there. Slash, Facade, Feint Attack, and Feint Attack does the least damage, but it can choose Feint Attack because Feint Attack will also kill. And it does by far the least damage of those moves. And the reason that it wound up being important is because I have like just enough HP to like go into the last slacking without healing. And my healing items are already kind of fucked at this point. So not only does it save the turn from healing, but it saves the healing item itself. The next slacking does 40 to 48 with Facade, and it can also use Focus Punch if they'll both kill. So it's like super unlikely that I die unless I get crit here. So it's worth it to not heal. It would be worth it even at like 45, but he actually uses the Focus Punch here instead, so that's fine. And now this is also a damage range to 3-shot. And that was like kind of average for the first 2, so I'm like really scared here because if it doesn't die, you lose a shitload of time. Because it heals to full and then you have to go through the whole thing again. But we got it. Bullshit fight. Absolutely bullshit. Would not recommend that fight. It's not worth swapping a Pokemon to the lead to do that, basically. Like, it doesn't even matter, right? Okay, so here's why you don't do that. Because, okay, so here's how the fight would go if you sent out a Pokemon, right? You would send out a weak Pokemon. He would hit you, and then he would be loafing, right? And then you would X-Defend on the loafing turn. And then you would attack in, and he would hit you. So it's like the same thing, because you're using an item on the turn that he's loafing anyway. So, and since the item has priority, you're not actually changing anything. Right, so you X-Defend, he loafs. It's not safer. Okay, so you X-Defend, right? And then he's loafing. And then you attack, and he facades you. And then you attack again, and he's loafing, and then you attack again, and he facades you. So it's the same thing, right? Because you're using the loafing turn to use an item, and then he's faster than you anyway on the next turn. And also, it's really slow to do that, right? But yeah. Decelerate by walking into the house there, and also repel on a specific tile. Again, where you repel and like using repels to decelerate your bike instantly with the repel wearing out text is a pretty cool like optimization set in this run. More healing items. You buy so many healing items this run. It's actually like, I don't know, it's like telling as to how bullshit this run is, because how much you like have to prepare for with healing. Another biking section. This one's pretty scary. Not this part, but this next part. And you'll see the deceleration here in front of the spinner. It would be super annoying to deal with that if you didn't have the repel wear out there. Nice. Really epic time loss there. And this is the rare candy that you would skip if you did that desert rare candy strat. And now it's time for run into bike. Run, bike. Spinner can't see you. Same here. Run, bike. And this guy, that part is so hard. You have to like turn on one tile, turn on the next tile, and then go up. And if you fuck it up at all, that guy hits you. It's really scary to do that in a run. Another run into bike here. I think I missed this one. Yeah. That spinner could have seen me, like 1 and 8. That's like the biggest mistakes I made in this run, is those run into bikes. I hate run into bikes. Bag manip this guy. You see, that he basically spun on like the first possible frame he could there. But it's like not enough to see you. This part's hard as shit. Yep, close. Wow, I never bonk there. Interesting. Oh, goodness. Ah, that wasn't so bad. It was not so bad. I'll take it. We did not dishonor Famery. We might not have made Famery proud, but we did not dishonor Famery. Spinners can't hit you at all if you do what I do. The idea is that your spinners will be forced to look in a direction if you run. And when you do that, you like reset their spin timer. They can only spin so often, and it takes them a certain amount of time to spin again after they've been forced to look in a direction. So you run to make them look a direction, and then you quickly stop your movement, get on the bike, and then restart your movement. Because spinners won't be forced to look in the direction that you're passing if you're on the bike. And biking is faster than walking, obviously, even with the acceleration. So you can pass every spinner in this game with like some combination of execution. Ooh, I got the skip there. Nice. That is also a spinner. And if you're like, you have to be really fast. But if you get there in time and open your pause menu, and he hasn't spun by the time you do that, then he can't spin by the time you pass, just because of the way the spinner timer works out. But if he has spun, then he can. Then you have to bag manip him, like actually go into your items. This is actually one of the scariest parts of the run, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So I get swagger here, which happens like most of the time, which is super annoying. And I hurt myself in confusion. And I have to make a decision here, right? Do I want to... okay, yeah. So I have to make a decision here. Do I want to waste a super potion and then also waste a full heal to heal off the confusion? Or do I want to just attack in here? Because it's like, in order to play this safe, I have to both heal and heal the confusion off. So this run was like pretty good, you know, but I've had runs that were better than this for sure. And like, you know, there's still a lot that can go wrong in this run. So I make the executive decision to go ahead and just attack in because it's so much faster than the alternative of playing it safe, which, you know, was a bit unreasonable here, I feel. So I went for it, and of course we're here, so I got it. But I think the chance to snap is like spread out evenly across all the turns you can snap. So 1 in 4. Chat, why not heal? Why? Why not heal? Every time. But assuming you have 2 turns to attack in, like I did there, I mean, you're pretty unlikely to die, right? You have to get hit by the swagger, which has a chance to miss. You have to hurt yourself twice, which is 50% each time. And you can snap. So, I looking at this situation after having watched the whole run, I think I absolutely made the right decision in that moment. You know, if the run dies, it sucks, of course. But I mean, you know, you have to be able to make that decision as a Pokemon runner. To know that I'm doing something that could kill the run, but like this is what I have to do. Yeah, and like that's part of it, right? Is that if like you have to take your run as a whole, right? Like what is my healing item situation? How far ahead am I? You know, how many things are still to come that can kill me? How willing am I to continue grinding this game? There's a lot of factors. What is my goal time? When deciding, like, is this a risk that's worth taking? And that, I mean, that one was overwhelmingly worth taking. I don't even really think that it was, like, actually a consideration. Assuming that your, like, goal was a world record, I think that was always correct to attack in there. It was. I mean, there's no way you can justify super potioning and full healing there. And you see I lost some time to PB because PB did not hurt itself in confusion there. Rival 3 is free as fuck. There's actually nothing that can go wrong except like Numel chain critting you or something. Nice bike alteration there. I was like on the wrong line, but took one step down. Can be really difficult to do that. Wow. Someone called that this run would get past Tate and Liza. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? What the fuck? I went too many steps there. Can't get on the bike. Holy shit, I'm freaking out. That was bad. That's okay. I haven't really done anything like that bad this run. This run was actually... I'm actually thinking about it now. Like, usually I have made more comments on, like, the mistakes that I've made in a run. But this run has been, like, really clean so far, honestly. Yeah, no major blemish on this run except the run into bikes, which, like, the run into bikes don't actually bother me that much. I mean, they bother me, but they don't bother me that much because, like, I wasn't lazy about practicing run into bikes when I was grinding this game. Like, I practiced the fuck out of those run into bikes, and I still just couldn't quite get it consistently. Oh, this is such a rough spot. This is such a rough spot. That 3-turn Fury attack? Okay, so this is actually crazy. Why this is such a dumb spot. So, you don't want to be full health for Winona because the Pelipper can supersonic you, and that's really bad because you don't really have that many full heals. You don't want to buy more. Sometimes you don't have any full heals. And you want it to be doing damage to you or, like, keeping you at a mid-health so that you can set up Torrent for the Skarmory. But this HP is troll as fuck because the lead Swellow does... You see, I have 54 health. I'll continue. The Swellow does 23 to 28. The 28 is a 1 in 16 roll. So it's, like, very reasonable that it could do 27 damage twice in a row. Or at least 27 damage twice in a row. But, like, I can't really heal, right? Because then I would be too high health. And it's also really good to be at, like, this mid-health, because if it hits you once or twice and you live it, then you're in Torrent, so it dies. So I definitely don't think I can justify healing here. Yeah, I don't. But it's, like, a really troll HP. If I was 1 HP higher, my chance of dying goes way down. So... This fight is bullshit. This fight, I know I keep saying this, but this fight is... I hate this fight. This motherfucker sets up double teams. And this is... what is this range? It's like 65, 62% or something to die to Surf. And if it doesn't die, then she heals, and then you have to do it again. No, it's not worse than the Twins. But we actually get it, which is sick. So now our job is to set up 5 X attacks, because Altaria is a Pokemon we can't deal with otherwise, while hoping Pelipper pretty much spams Protect, which it can do. Get Water Gun. Gets hit to 37. One more X attack. So we're just absolutely praying that he doesn't hit us on this turn. Water Gun to 19. Okay. And now here's where the real, true bullshit comes into play here. Right? Water Gun does 17 to 21. And if Pelipper thinks that Water Gun can kill, or excuse me, if it thinks that it will kill, then it will use Water Gun. So I'm pretty likely to die here if it Water Guns. So I heal, remembering that I need to set up Torrent. And Winona uses fucking Protect. Are you shitting me? 17 to 21. I have 19 health. And you use Protect? What kind of gym leader are you? Such bullshit. And you see me. I pause. I'm paused. I'm sitting here in disbelief. at this stupid bitch's fighting strategy. I just sit there. What are you doing? Nyx calls me a greedy fuck. Or no, he wasn't even talking to me. And so now I have to not be in Torrent for Skarmory. It sand attacks me because I'm not in Torrent and it didn't die. And now we have the problem where if I miss Strength here, then Altaria Dragon Dances and then shits on me with Earthquake. But I hit and don't die. Nah, like, this looks like kind of a shitty Winona fight, but it really wasn't that bad. It's very favored to use Double Team rather than Aerial Ace. I think it's like 3 and 4 or something. Yeah, back to 54. So, this Winona fight looked kind of troll because I had to heal, twice? Or once? I don't know. But I killed the Swellow on turn 1. So, it actually wasn't bad, and you can see I actually saved time over record, even with the bullshit. But yeah, it's just bullshit. Wait, did you say the same thing? Then? I mean, I believe you, but I want to see it. God damn it, whatever, I just believe you. This run is fun to watch. It is. It's just bullshit to run, because you're so likely to die. But Nyx... Yeah, YouTube doesn't care. True. Run into bike here. Dodge this guy. The little tree bitch. Why am I running? What are you doing, Gunnermaniac? Get on the bike. I mean, I'm practicing Sapphire for GDQ right now, which is one of the reasons I'm doing this video. And that is the last run into bike in the run, and I missed that one too. My heart rate's like 120 right now. You know, I'm not gonna worry about it. But oh, that was crazy. Oh my god, I forgot about that. That was so sick. Okay, so the reason I like bike to the right there is because you want to enter Lily Cove by 1 tile so that you can fly there later. You get it like picking up the flight path. But like, I'm 1 tile too low here, and then I correct it without losing any steps. That was so sick. And then I bonk here anyway, I think. Yeah. But that was a sick correction. And then you guys remember before I talked about you want to have an audio track loading, like mid-loading, to when you go through a map transition. So I'm going to get on and off the bike here to like load and deload, or like load and load, I guess, the audio track, so that when I transition through this map, it is less black screen time. Yeah. And I try to do the same thing here, but I actually missed that one. And you saw it was a bit longer. It's really hard to get that one, like, optimally. But at the same time, it's better to just try to do it as fast as possible, since, like, doing it averagely hardly saves any time. These fights are all trivial. You can miss Mudshot, and it's annoying, but pretty much just farming for Swampert at this point. Not that you can avoid doing so, but I mean, that's effectively what it comes down to. Guy in chat, what's a Kyogre manip? Sorry for asking. Question mark. Right. Time for a couple donations here. That's right. That's a good point. Time for a couple donations. Oh, something I never talked about is I'm using Mudshot on the Carvanhas because they have rough skin. And Mudshot doesn't make contact, whereas Strength does, even though it's guaranteed to hit. It's faster on average. I mean, I have lost a bunch of time to missing a Mudshot on one of these Carvanhas into Scary Face, but generally it's fine. I guess I could have just skipped over this part, but whatever. Just watch the whole thing. We've made it this far. This is actually like the most insignificant thing, but in order to avoid getting a turn frame and like slowly stepping down, I'm going to bonk into this wall, get off the bike, and run down one. That's like a lot harder than it looks to do perfectly, but it does save some time. Yeah, like you're looking at me, like my camera today. I have it over the camera from the run. Estimate is 210 for my GDQ run. Well, no, I can't name everything for the GDQ run because it messes with the manips. I can only name Wingull, Castform, and Kyogre. At what point did I realize this was a rock? I mean, I knew the whole time that it could record. Okay, so one thing about this run is that the PB splits that I'm comparing against lose like 2 minutes on the Tate and Liza split because I die there. So, like, against PB, the run is a lot better than it looks. I'll take an extra step there. Dishonor Family Maniac. I don't know, this was like months ago. I just haven't done the commentary on it. But yeah, this part of the run is kind of like a, I don't know, like a calm before the storm or something. Do I also talk a few sentences about the story, what Team Aqua's into? No, because I'm not fucking gay, dude. I'm not gonna sit there and tell grown men about Pokemon plot. Tell us the Lance theory. No, but talking about plot when you could be talking about 6 speedrunning strats. So one time I lost a record run to missing Mudshot on this fight. It's the last fight you use Mudshot on in the entire run. And I missed Mudshot and then got scary faced. And died. It's quite maddening. This Mightyena is 85% to die, I think, if you're not in Torrent, which I'm not. So good that it died. I think it also has Scary Face. I actually think that Mightyena has no moves that can hurt you. It's like Odor Sleuth, Scary Face, Swagger, and something. I mean, obviously you can hurt yourself in Confusion, but it's a pretty troll moveset. So this is a cool repel. I actually don't know who came up with this one. But if you remember throughout this run, I've been using repels to decelerate my bike instantly to like get past spinners and stuff. But in this case, we actually don't have anything to dodge on the bike. And we don't want to decelerate the bike, because then we have to re-accelerate it for the next couple of tiles. So the reason that we repel right where we do is because we get the repel to wear out in here while we're walking, which doesn't take any acceleration. Pretty sick strat. Nice extra step. So the next fight is just a Xatu, and that is the fight that I actually died to in my PB that I'm comparing against during this run. And the fight is complete bullshit because the Xatu's faster than you, and it has 3 moves that it uses randomly: Wish, Future Sight, and Nightshade. And you would think that it would be fine, right? That moveset doesn't sound troll. Just heal out of range of 2 Nightshades, and then you can't die, right? Well, it's not that simple, because you, like, more than anything in the world at this point in the run, you want to be low-ish to, like, actually 1 HP. The goal is to, at the very least, if Lunatone targets you, you want it to think that it can kill you with Psychic. Because if it targets you and it doesn't think it can kill you with Psychic, then it can use Calm Mind, which is, like, kind of bad, but not that bad. Or Light Screen, which is, like, pretty much instantly run over. So you just have to risk that Xatu Nightshading twice, basically. It's unlikely. It's only, like, you know, it's 1 in 9 to Nightshade twice. But it's just another annoying point of this run where if that Xatu, if you were faster than Xatu, or if it died in 1 hit, or if, you know, if this fight didn't require you to be low health, then it would be fine. But it's not. And then there's the flip side where you want to take damage from Nightshade so that you can get to an HP where Lunatone thinks it can kill you, and it doesn't fucking Nightshade you. I hate that Xatu. So this fight, you generally open like this every time, or at least you want to, where Lunatone thinks it can kill you with Psychic because it can kill you with Psychic, and then you use Swampert's turn to X speed, so you can be faster than both of them. They're the same speed, they're speed tied. And you use Wingull's turn to heal Swampert, because if Lunatone targets Swampert, then it will kill it with Psychic, which is obviously, you have to heal that. The problem with this bullshit atrocity of a Pokemon battle is that Lunatone and Solrock have random targeting. So they will use a move based on who they target, but who they target is random. So in the worst case scenario, Lunatone wins the speed tie because the Solrock and Lunatone are speed tied. Or sorry, Solrock wins the speed tie and targets Wingull, and then Wingull dies, and then Lunatone also targeted Wingull to kill it, but it lost the speed tie. So then it targets Castform, and Lunatone's Psychic kills Castform, but Solrock's doesn't. And then you're left with just Swampert. And then Lunatone hypnosises, and Solrock charges Solar Beam, and then you die. So you're like 1 in 8 to basically lose the fight instantly. So that's why... Okay, so yeah. So this is a pretty standard first turn-ish. Lunatone targets Swampert, and you see it use Psychic because we had low enough HP to where it would use Psychic. Didn't get a special defense drop. Solrock charges Solar Beam. That's fine. I agree, Nyx. Pretty greedy. Pretty greedy. So this is why it's important that we taught Dive before this fight, because now I'm going to use Dive to dodge the Solar Beam. And we get the absolute fucking nuts. The absolute nuts on this fight. Hypnosis on Swampert on the dive turn. You never see this shit. Because Lunatone is bullshit. It could have calm-minded there. No. No. It is not 50% chance Solar Beam hits Wingull. Because... the only reason that Solrock is using Solar Beam on Swampert is because that is the only move that Solrock has that will kill Swampert from that HP. If he targeted Wingull, then he would use Psychic instead. So if you see Solar Beam, it's always on Swampert. He can also use Flamethrower on Wingull, funnily enough, because that also kills. We use Water Gun to attack Solrock there. Which is actually relevant because that was actually a sick dive range, but dive plus surf is a range to kill. So the water gun damage on Solrock from this level 5 Wingull is actually relevant, though it wasn't here. It's just funny that it worked out that way. And then Lunatone Psychics the Wingull, which is fine. And now Solrock Psychics Castform. Castform tanks it like a beast. Surf Rain Dance. Surf kills Solrock guaranteed because we got good dive range and water gun damage. Lunatone uses Psychic on Castform. Now Castform doesn't even gain HP for the level ups. And you might be wondering, why the fuck does this Surf kill? Because the first one did such little damage. Surf only does half damage if it hits 2 targets in a double battle. So once we kill Solrock, it does double damage and then it dies. And GG. Sick Tate and Liza fight. Nice gold. Save 2 minutes on PB because PB dies there. Sick bike adjustments. Of course they explode, Nyx. They're hype. So I don't think I mentioned this, but I actually used a... If it hits 2 targets, yeah. I actually used a super repel or a max repel in the gym on a very specific tile when I taught dive. And that is for this guy right here. It's another one of those repel decelerates. I actually bonked there like a retard. But yeah, it makes it to where you don't have to worry about passing this guy up. And you get off the bike here. Okay, well, I did it 1 tile late because I'm an idiot. But yeah, you get off the bike there because you have to push so many boulders that it's actually faster to not have to do the slow bike acceleration every time. I wonder if it'd be faster to get on and off the bike there. Probably not. But you do it here, though. Load the audio track to remove the delay by getting on and off the bike. Remove the delay from the transition. Little boulder puzzle. Bonk there. Bonk every fucking time. We actually left Tate and Liza with really good health to not have to heal here, which was nice. Crunch crit would have killed me there, Monk S. But it's good that he put me into Torrent because now this like 41% to die Mightyena is guaranteed because of Torrent. So based on how I played this run, I'm almost positive I still have Super Potions left, which means that I am going to Super Potion here. Or at some point. Honestly, they're pretty equally bullshit. Why did I take a step up there? I'm freaking out. What is wrong with you, Gunnermaniac? At least he's Super Potioned, like I said. Heart rate 120, by the way. I lost a world record run to this fight. Getting crit on the wrong turn. This fight is basically just set up an HP to where Crobat puts you into Torrent. With 2x specials. Mightyena really likes to Scary Face, but it can take down 2. I would have tanked 2 here, probably. Actually, that takedown miss was actually relevant, because if he had used takedown, then what does it do? 31 to 37. If he rolled 35, 36, or 37... No, I would have been fine, because I would have tanked a Crobat move, right? But he would have put me to an HP that... He would have put me to an HP that he could have takedowned again, and then it could have fucked me. Why would it be a problem to get hit by a Scary Face? Crobat is faster, and he will... Well, yeah, but Mightyena and Sharpedo aren't. Air Cutter doesn't crit. Monk S. Please God, don't crit me. And we win. By surfing a Sharpedo. That would be faster than us had we gotten hit by a Scary Face. Double Glad. I lost 10 seconds to Record, but Record gets a bullshit crit there that saves a ton of time. So now it's time for the for the absolute worst part of Gen 3 runs, which is I have to hit a RNG manipulation for Kyogre that is really, really tight. So the way it works is you save and you reset the game just like all the other manips. And you have to hit a 4-frame window to start the Kyogre battle, which generates its stats, right? There's a 4-frame window, 4 different Kyogres, and they're all good. 2 of them, the middle 2 frames are better. They save some extra time over the others. And that's the easy part. 4-frame window, you know, you're not happy about it, but like, it's whatever. The bullshit part is the catch. You have to catch the motherfucker in a netball because getting the Master Ball wastes like a minute. And the catch is a 3-frame window. Technically. But really it's not. Because RNG moves twice as fast in battle as it does when you're in your bag. So what that means is that in order to get the same 3-frame RNG window, you have to be able to hit a 1-frame window for entering your bag from the fight. Ah, 1 tile off. Perfect. Unlucky. So what that means is that, like, if you know exactly which frame you hit, and you can adjust your timing by such tiny margins as 1 frame, then it's a 3-frame window. But really, at best, it's a 2-frame window. It's more like a 2-frame window, which is it's not something you want to be dealing with that late into a run. This is like the worst cave ever, by the way. Bonk. That's 2 bonks. That's 3 bonks, 4 bonks, 5 bonks. 6, 7, 8. Eight bonks. It's 4 seconds. I lost there. And now it's time for the Kyogre manip. I lost a run to this too. I got a run here on record pace and died to my finger slipping and pressing catch Kyogre way too early. All right. Now this is where we bring out the slow mode to explain what happens here. So I'm fucking retarded, okay? That's what you really need to know. And at this point in the run, I'm like trying to figure out which spot my cursor is on, okay, in my bag, because I've made a mistake before where I like click on the wrong Pokeball and then like that kills the run. So I'm like, okay, my cursor's already on netball. I preset up my cursor on netball. But I'm retarded because when you save and reset, your cursor position resets to the top of the bag. And I like am not thinking about this at the time. So I actually, and you hear the beeps, I click on fucking Pokeball and then correct it and go back down to netball.
It wasn't on netball because I reset. I'm retarded, but I think I saved it.
I sound drunk.
Netball because I
Wait, one more. One more. Oh my god. Why does it take so long?
It wasn't on netball because I reset. I'm retarded, but I think I saved it. Yes. 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 Yes.
We did it, boys. So now we teach my heart rate was 140 at this point. So now we teach a bunch of moves to Kyogre and shit, and now I'm gonna see Kyogre's HP, and I'm like, yes, 156. That means I got one of the good ones. Mild plus special attack. Pass up waterfall, as is custom. Every time. And get the fuck out of here. No, Kyogre stats are... You have to manip the Kyogre stats for it to be worth it. That menu was not good. I don't think I'm too worried about it, though. The run can die, but it's like 90% to finish. Wow, I actually could have gotten an encounter there, I guess. Because I took so many extra steps in the fucking cave. But yeah, that puzzle's terrifying. If you fuck up that puzzle, the run's over by like a huge margin. But I didn't fuck it up. This fight's pretty free. You equip a Persian Berry because you have a couple chances to get confused. But other than that, unless you get confused twice, nothing can really go wrong. We have the mild, so we can surf here. If you have a non-plus special attack Kyogre and he uses Amnesia, you actually have to keep Hydro Pump instead of Waterfall so that you can Hydro Pump him. But this Kyogre doesn't have that problem because it's a fucking beast. The benefit of the hasty is that you can X speed this fight to be faster than the Love Disc and Sea King. Couldn't you have turned off alerts for the world record? I hate seeing anime gifs pop up throughout the entire video. I mean, I guess I could have turned it off. I don't know. I'm never really thinking about that while I'm during the run. And there's the confused for the Persian Berry. Oh, is it a meme? YouTube comment? That does make sense. Sorry, I was not in critical thinking mode. If you don't like anime gifs, you can get out. Well, to be fair, of all the Pokemon runs, this is the one that you're like most sure that you're going to get the record in. Like at this point, it's very likely that I get the record unless I do something retarded. So, of all the runs, that guy has most of a point in this one. But, you know. Woo! That little flick to the right because I was on the wrong tile. That's the good shit right there. Look at this. I practiced mock bike way too much mock biking. I think this is one of my better victory roads, if I remember correctly. I think this one was pretty good. Which is good because my cave of origin was so bad. But I mean, it doesn't even lose that much time to get a bad cave of origin. Nice. Typical, get a good victory road, but fuck it up right at the beginning. All of the victory road fights are completely free. Everything dies in one hit. There's nothing that can go wrong. I think Ninetales can quick attack you. Maybe. I don't know. Doesn't matter. This place is really hard to do without bonking. Like, really hard. Yeah, that's bonk. Ooh, that was good, though. That's the hardest part, IMO. Well, no, the hardest part is definitely the bridge, but one of the hardest. Boom. Boom. Nice. She didn't have to walk to see me. The movement. Yeah, having watched this entire run, you know, there's definitely, like, some things that went wrong. But, like, this run is pretty fucking solid. It was well executed. Great biking. A couple of key decisions that were good. And, like, just a solid time. This run would be really hard to beat. Oh, that was not good. This run would be, like, fucking insane to beat if the one thing in the Elite Four that I'll explain when we get there happened. But unlucky. This run could have been a 156 for sure. Hey, it's you. Wait, did Ninetales actually quick attack me? Is that what just happened? Yeah, it did. Wow. The one thing that can go wrong. Epic. Yeah, this 50 rare wasn't that good. It was okay. If I do everything else perfectly, it was, like, good, I guess. Do a little bike flash here to deload the audio track. Ooh, that was good. That was good. Can you do the last turn perfectly, though? Gunnermaniac 3. I will consider this a good, if I don't make any more mistakes. This was good. There's no way I get this perfectly. What? Okay. Whatever. It was okay. It was better than average. Unlucky. But yeah, I mean, there's like not that much to say at this point. Like, as long as you play around the Kyogre that you have, which they're not even that different from one another, there's not that much that can go wrong. Which is kind of, I mean, you know, after all the bullshit that you waded through, if there was like some fight at the end here that could fuck you, like, likely it would suck, honestly. It's so hard to get here. So hard. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have questions about the run and stuff, do you think Drizzle saves you time? Yes, absolutely. 100% yes. Drizzle is insane. Like, yeah, it's kind of slow in some parts, but the Elite Four is no joke. And Rain is a huge buff. Percent to get sub 2 hour at GDQ, 0. 0%. Like a 2-0... A 202 would be like an absolutely insane GDQ time. Like, nuts. Because to play safe and still get that time. Estimate is 210, and that's already kind of scary. That's me. And it's not just the saves, you know. It's like playing safe itself. Getting Manips first try and stuff. There's a lot that can go wrong. And a lot of the deaths, like Winona and Norman, can be really slow. Nah, just speedruns. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to record separate audio channels for my audio for the game and my mic so that we can like actually have game sound for this sort of thing. But I mean, I don't do commentary that often because I don't get runs that I'm like satisfied doing commentary with that often. But of all the things to talk about remaining in the run, there is one more that is in the next fight that actually made this not be a 156, which is quite annoying. Because it's like the major benefit of having the mild Kyogre that I got this run, plus special attack. So this fight is free. I mean, there's not much that you can get confused right from the last Dusclops, I guess. But the first 4 Pokemon always die, regardless of what Kyogre you have. But the last one, you generally lead with Shockwave, and then you Surf after, and that's guaranteed to kill. And that avoids his Citrus Berry, which is slow to proc that for no reason. But with the mild Kyogre, there is a 53% chance that it dies in one hit. So it's worth going for, especially because, and this is what made it not be a 156, Especially because it makes it to where you don't have to heal for the entire Elite Four if you get the range. How did I feel at this point in the run? I mean, at this point in the run, it's a lock if I play it right, so I felt good. Still kind of scared I would do something retarded, but... So yeah, go for the surf here. If this kills, I'm like pretty likely to get a 156 as long as I don't get paralyzed by body slam. But of course, missed the range into Shadow Ball, special default. No 156. Feels absolutely terrible, man. Damn, this run would have been so... I would have been... I mean, I still am so happy with this run, but like... It just... I missed that range. It procced the Citrus Berry. I got a special default, and I had to Hyper Potion, and that was the 20 seconds I needed to get this. Yeah, just like gold record without everything past Joyce. But hey, it's still the record, so whatever. You have 1.3k viewers, by the way. As if I'm not watching. Silly chat. I mean, it's harder to pass Joyce than it is to beat any individual fight in the Elite Four, yeah? Come on, it rounds up to 0.4k. But yeah, these next two fights are locks. No, I'm not dead to crits here, even. There's only one more Pokemon that can even, like, attack me. And it actually looks like it's a range to kill me with a crit from this HP. But it's not even guaranteed to use the move that will kill me if it crits. Yeah, look at that. Fucking time save, dude. If I didn't have to hyper, it's a Skarmory, and it knows Aerial Ace. You use 1x special to set up, and then if it crits you on that turn, it can kill you. But it's not even guaranteed to use it. It can use Spikes or Toxic. Or Toxic is bad too, but it's just slow. So there's a Kyogre that doesn't have to X speed here. The Hasty. That's the major benefit for the other good Kyogre. But I did have to. And so here I do get takedown from the Altaria instead of Dragon Dance, which I don't think I've even ever seen at this point running the game. So now I am dead to a crit from Skarmory. So I have to make the decision. Do I want to take the 100% world record and lose, you know, another 15 seconds? Or do I want to take the 94% world record and have a run that I'm happy with, and that is hard, that's solidly harder to beat? And which do you guys think I chose? Well, it would have been for... This run was going to be world record. Either way. Keep that in mind. Oh, my controller DC'd there, by the way. This was actually insane. I forgot about this. First of all, I talked to Glacia twice, if you didn't notice that before. So here, I like bump my SP and the connection fucks up. And from the time that you see me like stop moving, I picked up my wireless controller, turned it on, and switched to the GameCube controller in this amount of time. That was fast as shit. I was ready for anything. Nothing could stop me. Not even God himself. Unless, you know, Steel Wing crit me. Aerial Ace crit me. Possibly. So we're just, you know, spikes, spikes, spikes. Please use spikes. Don't use aerial ace, please. Didn't you heal? Fuck no, I didn't heal, dude. I'm not a pussy. That's pussy shit. Healing around a 6% chance. Fucking heal for that shit. Can you imagine? Yeah, and that's true. That is true. If you heal, you're much more likely to get toxic. Which is super slow. This would have, like, not even been record by that much if I healed and got toxic. Now, of course, in the universe where I don't heal and get crit by that aerial ace, I am possibly dead at this point. But you know, you gotta tread the line as a Pokemon speedrunner between suicide and victory. That is the world we live in. It's not a range. Not with the mild, my man. And, yeah, we did it. Okay, so for anyone out there who's thinking, wow, that looked pretty fun, this is when everything goes right. This game is such utter fucking bullshit to run. You are so likely to die somewhere in this run. So likely that it is so painful. I would not recommend that anyone run this game. If you really want to run Gen 3, run Fire Red or Emerald instead. But do not run this game. Red is worse. You're only saying that because your record sucks? That's not true. Why is Emerald better than Sapphire? Because you're over 3 times likelier to finish a run. Don't forget about Norman and Flannery. I lost so many runs to Flannery. But yeah, Brooke is the worst of them, for sure. Cold Trainer Brooke is... If without Cold Trainer Brooke, this game would be playable. But because of her, it's just not. It's really not. Tate and Liza is the major fight that's better in Emerald. And also no Brawly. And also Cold Trainer Brooke doesn't exist in Emerald. That would be the major stuff. And Norman is better. How many attempts did it take? It says it right there. 2,599. Nope. There's no... Brooke, you can't avoid her. Is like you have to fight her because you have to go past that route. And as far as like what makes the fight bullshit, you're deadlocked because if you have enough HP to tank the Mega Drain, then the lead Pokemon Wingull can use Growl on you or Supersonic, and then you're fucked anyway. So like there's no way to do the fight where you're good, basically, because you can't kill the Wingull in one hit. You could teach Rock Tomb for that fight, but then Rock Tomb has a high mischance anyway, so it's like you just can't win. Yeah, I lost a ton of runs to Brawly. The reason we lose so many runs to Brawly is because that's the first place that you, like, you know, really have a nice chance to die. No, Rock Tomb is 80, right? I mean, I'm running Sapphire until GDQ. After that, I don't know. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this Pokemon Sapphire commentary version run. Leave your thoughts and whatnot in the comments if you'd like to see more commentary in the future or things I can improve on or whatever. Let me know. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.